This is usually when people choose to victimize me. I was over at Goodwill, and they're open till 8, so hung out until they closed. That at least increases my chances of having someone local, someone who will see it or witness it if I'm messed with. Obviously, the people I'm most afraid of here is actually the cops because of the way they've treated me on multiple occasions. And that's the problem with having to try to turn in predators alone, especially when some of your predators are law enforcement. Now, the Tillamook Police Department does not have a good reputation. Not with the locals, not with many of the churches, even with, well, many of these law enforcement folks go into these churches. In a small town, that's pretty much a required. You know that your reputation is what allows you to work in that town. And lots of these small towns are where ignorant folks like to congregate. People who think that, well, we're going to go to the law, but when the law doesn't work in this scenario, we're going to refer to God. When God isn't what's going to work in this scenario in our favor, we'll go to the law. And, you know, it's difficult when you're an outsider. Being from Nebraska, knowing quite a bit about small towns, knowing quite a bit about racist mentalities, and also how incredibly nice some racists can be. But there's also the fact that since I've been in this town, the help that I've needed, I've gone to the places that I've been told I'm supposed to go for that help. There's also the help that those places do provide. But then there's, do you qualify for that? Now there's a place here, it's called Helping Hands, I believe. And, you know, I went to CARE over and over again, and I went to Tides of Change over and over again. And when I was at both of those places, I usually told them I was going to Helping Hands as soon as I left. And they'd call them up and tell me that Helping Hands doesn't have any room. I get told to go to these services over and over again, and then I go to those services and they tell me I got to come back on a different day. Well, that ain't no fun. I've already spent the gas to get here once. My vehicle's having enough issues with not burning up extra gas right now. Also, I'm worried that I've gone so long without checking the oil, I should probably put some in there before my engine explodes. Without a heater, I can't drive very far anyway because my window will just freeze up. Now, if you notice, when I tell people about my safety issues, they all blow me off. If I tell somebody I was just assaulted, it's going to take what? Are they ever going to actually care enough to turn it in with me? Are they ever going to be an actual family or friend? Someone calling themselves Chimes Nomadic typed hello. A lot of people tell me this is just standard homelessness. Sean, you know that's just standard homelessness. We aren't loved anywhere. No matter where we go, people want us to move on. And they'll harass us until we move on. If that doesn't work, they'll start making shit up. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You're wrong about that. There's always something you can do about it. Everyone's got a mouth. You can speak up. If it's happening to you, don't just whine at the peanut gallery. If you're telling me your story, there better be a purpose to it. If your purpose is to try to talk me out of turning in my predators, it's not going to work. You're just letting me know that you can't be trusted, which sucks. See, when somebody is being abused, they're supposed to go to someone that they trust for help. And I reached out to everybody I knew for help. Doesn't seem as if any of them were trustworthy, though. I wasn't worth listening to any of them. But then there's also the sheer number of law enforcement officers and public officials that I've attempted to turn in, and the sheer quantity of them that are sitting in jail right now. And we can go down the list. First of all, we have to go through the fact that there's 20 deputies in Dual County alone. 20 deputies who had to move on in a 5-year period, all right? Let's also consider Polly Olson, who was one of their friends and was also instrumental in playing stupid and helping them get away. Also instrumental in extorting the money that it was going to take in order to have me arrested on false charges. And what did they have to do? Again, drop those charges. You'd think they'd get tired of it. You'd think somebody would recognize that obviously this is harassment. And way beyond harassment. They were allowed to do this 11 different times. Now, without the support of Kenneth Fornander, the county treasurer, and of course the county clerk, Polly Olson, they could not apportion any of that money to have me illegally incarcerated, to hide the crimes of Scott DaCosta and his deputies. Now let's take a look at Waylon Lolatai, the first officer to assault me over all this. Wasn't the first officer to do property damage. The first officers to do property damage over the situation with Natalie was all the way back in Virginia. I went to all the people that I was supposed to as an at-risk and disabled adult. And after going to all those places and having them all blow me off and play stupid, outright lie to me and tell me it's not their job, what did I have to encounter and deal with? When Molly came up and she wanted to beat the hell out of my vehicle and scream and hoot and holler and shout, she did it while I was alone. First thing I did was pull out my camera and start recording. I would record 24 hours a day if I could. I'm not interested in fighting with people. I'm not interested in shooting people. I'm not interested in drowning people or chopping them up and feeding them to their dogs. You know, if I went through the list of ways that Rebecca Gross-Nickel-Foley threatened to kill people, Jesus, man. She even made you guys look like fucking softies. She's got a severe hatred for her predators. She's not male, though, so she doesn't have to tone it down as much anyway. It's more socially acceptable for her because she's a female. A lot of people, when they see a woman freaking out, they're like, oh, it's fine, she's female. Really? Is that really the reaction that you should be having to that? What if she's freaking out for a reason? Now, repeatedly, we've gotten to see where I've been threatened, harassed, or intimidated by law enforcement for trying to go to them about crimes that are committed against me. That is never okay. They are trained not to do this. People sue them for millions of dollars all the time for doing this. Oh, yeah, but those are people in houses. Six cops beat a black man to death who live in a house. Well, you're all going to say something about it. Six cops beat a homeless man to death. You don't care. There's no cry for justice. Ain't going to be no Rodney King. There ain't going to be no LA riots for the homeless. Ain't going to be no Watts riots for the homeless. Ain't going to be no Million Man March for the homeless. When it comes to the homeless, if the person who committed heinous crimes in your community was not busted, there's always a homeless person that you can railroad and call them mentally ill, and it's fine. Just insinuate that they're mentally ill. Insinuate that they're schizophrenic or delusional, and magically it's all fine. I don't want to be in this town full of predators. I didn't want to be in Chapel, Nebraska full of predators. Predators are everywhere, and our only protection against predators is each other. Now, if you're a coward and you're going to let predators harm your friends and family, you don't get to whine when it happens to you. The difference between you and I is that you let it happen. I speak up. You talk about how you would hurt people if it happened to you, or you offer to hurt people for me. Well, I don't want people hurt. I want help turning in these crimes that I'm not allowed to turn in myself, because all my predators got to do is say mentally ill, and magically it all goes away. Magically, they did no harm. Magically, I must have chosen this for myself. Sean, you chose this. You chose this. I didn't choose for people to lie about me. I didn't choose for people to get embarrassed. I didn't choose for people to assault me over things that never happened. I didn't choose for my friends to show themselves to be cowards. I already knew my family didn't care. I tried them anyway. I told you what would happen if I went to my family. They would rip me off. That's what they do. I notice I've been trying to post up videos, the ones that are audio recordings. You see how I'm now able to start posting those up? Yeah, it took a while to learn how to do that. I needed help being able to do that. I finally learned how to do that so that I could show the evidence with Scott DaCosta, and so that I could post up every single message between Natalie Bollinger and I in order, so that you can read them in order. Of course, the police helped the Bollingers to get away. Between listening to the victim and listening to the pretty face, all a pretty white girl's got to do is pretend to be a victim. After 6 years of being repeatedly assaulted for trying to get help, repeatedly blown off by the people and places I'm supposed to go to for help, being ignored by my friends and family, or treated like I'm a piece of shit for going to them, or they need money before they can help me. They need this or they need that. Oh, Sean, I'm about to lose my place. Oh, Sean, I can't pay the bills this month. Oh, Sean, I need some help watching my kids so I can go to work because Andrew's a lazy piece of shit. You guys don't think I get tired of it? None of my friends should be dead. None of them. Now, for me, I've got a tiny bit of gas left. At midnight, I'll have the money to put some more gas in. Only one place to, well, there's no place to get gas late at night. I might be able to get my card to work. Most of the time it won't. I gotta wait for the gas station to open up in the morning, and I gotta go in and use the ATM machine, and then once I've used the ATM machine, then pay for gas the old-fashioned way and pump it the old-fashioned way. Most of the places here won't let you pump it yourself. I would go over to Fred Meyer's for gas, but I don't get along with Scott Scudder. That's alright. I don't hate him. I don't have any ill will towards him. I don't want anybody to hurt him. I don't want any harm coming to him. What I do want, though, is for him to be safe and for his family to be safe. His brother and I get along all right. Matter of fact, I am always excited to see his brother, even though his brother wasn't able to help me in the way that I needed, and he wasn't able to utilize his skills to help me in that way. It doesn't mean that he's a horrible, horrible, horrible monster. People got priorities. For me, I just wasn't anyone's priority. They would help me only so far as I jumped through what hoops they wanted and did what they wanted when they wanted it. Whether it would help me or not was arbitrary. They weren't going to hear what helped me anyway. They were just going to keep on speaking over me until I had another fucking meltdown. That'd drive anybody batshit fucking bonkers. Anyway, it's starting to get pretty chilly, so I don't want to open the door, but I gotta stretch. My back hurts like a motherfucker, so hopefully I don't experience too much pain or I will vomit. Although usually that's from, I have some pretty horrible nightmares. a lot of flashbacks to horrible places that I've been. Alright, let's see if I can get out of the vehicle without offending anyone. There's always people who want to make comments about my car. What a weird car! Thank you. uh, uh. Oh, Jesus Christ, everything snapped, crackled, and popped at once. Whew. By the way, that doctor at the hospital here, there's a doctor with that same name associated with Hood River, and also a doctor with that same name sort of associated with the Dalles. So apparently he's not just a doctor here in Tillamook. He's also a doctor in 2 other places that I've been treated horribly. I do not believe I went to the hospital in the Dalles. I was certainly at the hospital in Hood River more than once. Now, in all these situations at the hospital, they should have sent somebody from APS and somebody from social services. That's who should have been there, not one of these alternate agencies, because they don't follow the protocols that are supposed to be followed. You also get to see in my videos, DHS don't follow their own policies either, do they? Nobody follows their fucking policies when it comes to me, do they? Apparently the law magically just doesn't matter anymore when it comes to Sean. This is lunacy. I got a external battery for my phone that I got charging. I got my phone charging too. It's might be too late to get a hold of anybody. If I had my way, I'd try to borrow $5 from somebody and go to McDonald's and get a $2 hamburger and a $1 coffee. You know what? That's not even $5. That's $3. I'd settle for $3. I don't know if I could drive all the way there on the gas that I got. It's only a block and a half away. I don't really feel as if that's something that I should be doing, being as my vehicle is not legal. And there's also the fact that I can't just keep walking in this shit. I can't keep running around like a chicken with my head cut off to all these services that aren't stopping to understand what I'm telling them. They just want to focus on housing. Well, they need to shut up and find out what the issue is with housing. Maybe if you listen, you understand why, when I needed help, instead of getting help from the services that I needed to get help from, I was threatened, harassed, and intimidated into leaving by them too. Yeah, there's people like Megan Misigatis and Marcia Estrada and Penny Cooper that didn't threaten me into leaving. Well, Penny kind of sort of did. But that was their solution. rather than doing something about the issue, their solution was for me to move elsewhere. Meanwhile, my predators, everywhere I go, they want to threaten, harass, and intimidate me into moving elsewhere. You tell me to get services there, and are those services going to help me to turn it in when I'm abused? No, they're not. Now, some of these people out here park weird. I'll point out what I mean. All right, so this guy right here, right? The parking slots here, they're all diagonal. Same thing with over there. How's he parked? Across several of them in the wrong direction, like a cop would do. Meanwhile, that car over there, fuck it, I should probably zoom in. Let's see. Oh, I zoomed it in too much, didn't I? Ah, fuck it. Alright, that one right there looks more like a cop car to me. But he knew how to park. He didn't park like an idiot. Neither one of them say police on them. Chances are that they're both just people weary from driving and want to pull over and take a break. You never know, though. Some of them new sporty ones, they're all clandestine and shit, like my recording device. I try and make sure I record everything. One of the things that sucks is getting blindsided. You think the cops are gonna take a report from you about abuse at the hands of cops, and you think your friend Kayla Trujillo is gonna go in with you, and then she drops you off outside. She can't go in because she got her son with her, and it turns out that the cop that you're supposed to turn these bad cops into is one of the bad cops that you was trying to turn in. Not only that, this was not a meeting for me to turn her in. It was a setup so they could try to frame me for crimes that I didn't commit and prevent me from facing my accusers. Namely, well, Alicia Bollinger, Danica Rochelle Garner, Rose M. Kelly, Rochelle Shelley Campbell. You think that we should just take this? You deserve every single bit of pain that you get in your lifetime. You deserve every piece of abuse. For every single homeless person that you look away from, every single homeless person that is shot by police, or freezes to death out of here on these streets. When you want to tell me about how black people are the most marginalized, no, you're not. You're a racist asshole and a piece of shit. If a homeless person happens to be black, I don't pretend that they're not still homeless. The racism that I have to endure because you want to sell a false narrative. Most of the black people incarcerated were homeless when they were arrested. Homeless. Once in a while, they screw up and kill somebody in a house, and all of a sudden, all of America's up in arms. That's right. If you victimize somebody until they're homeless, they deserve the abuse. If you rip people off so that you can have something like a roof over your head, well, then you're a martyr, even if you deserved it. Jesus, we live in a fucked up world. But it's fine. You don't fucking care. You only care when it happens to you. And then nobody will help you because you're a bitch. You're a punk-ass piece of fucking shit. When it happens to somebody else, you ain't going to lift a goddamn finger. It don't sound to me like you ever fucking deserved it. You never deserved for people to help you. Who did you ask for help? Was it me? I certainly remember asking you guys for help. There's even a lot of people that I went back and looked through our messages. I went, you know what? I want to try to make sure I know exactly what I said to that person. And I start going back to when I first remember starting to message him about the situation, and I realized, man, I was trying to get a hold of this person months and months before that. Holy shit, I got a hold of 4 of these people that I'm looking up today before Natalie was killed to try to get help. All of them the same shit. Too busy. I'm like, fuck, I forgot how hard I had to try. I mean, most of these people are people in Boulder, Colorado. Most of them lived in Boulder, Colorado. For that whole year in between when Natalie was fucking killed, that whole year in between when I went to Virginia and when Natalie was killed, if I go to Boulder, I'm getting assaulted. These people that I know are all in Boulder. I got to try to communicate with them over the internet while they're having internet issues because they're fucking homeless. A lot of the same internet issues I got, by the way. And a lot of those homeless people were willing to come forward, which is very fucking rare. But the thing is, the cops wouldn't be honest with me about who the fuck I needed to turn it into. And when they finally did tell me I could turn in the crimes to somebody, it was a fucking setup. They didn't give a fuck who harmed me. And then, of course, there's Amanda Jonas. Officer Amanda Jonas lying to Alyssa Rainwater. But Alyssa Rainwater never came forward to the public about it. I had to record it and post it. And she was pissed off about that. Well, you go ahead and be pissed off. Be as pissed off as you want to be. You should have told the fucking truth. You shouldn't have fucking gaslighted me. If it was true, you should have helped me to turn it in. Every time that you blow me off and make an excuse why you can't, you can reschedule. You can find a time to do it. But literally all you guys did was procrastinate for years and years, give empty promises for years and years, not follow through for years and years. And then you want instant satisfaction and instant gratification. What you want now. And it better be right now, because you're the pretty princess. You're the one who has a pea under their 20th mattress. You're the one that didn't get carried out of bed this morning on a couch. You don't like me doing that to you or saying that to you or talking to you like that, but you got no problem talking to me like that. Or those idiots who want to tell me how lucky I am to be free. Natalie thought that too. She idolized that life. But her daddy taught her different, didn't he? The people that drugged Alicia. Man, do you think that's something that they wanted? Those young women should have been safe, and I should have been safe too. I never should have been subject to abuse over drug addicts. I never should have been subject to long-term abuse. I get that my friends and family don't like it when I'm honest about them. Fucking tough nuts. Tough nuts. A good person, when they hear that somebody is missing, will offer to help turn it in. Will actually care. Of course, you guys have obviously never had a missing loved one. If you treated your situation with your missing loved one like this, they weren't a loved one. You have no conscience if you do this to a loved one. Y'all are fucking nuts. And then you treat me like I'm the crazy one. Well done. Yellow light's on, that means my vehicle is probably yep, it's overheating. I don't want to drive it around the parking lot, but that might be able to get some of the heat pushed up through the vent. As long as I have the external vent open, then it'll bring the heat in from there, since the real issue is that the fan is not connected somehow. The heater still works because the warm air does vent up through the vents, at least a little bit, enough to make a little tiny portion of my window, 2 circles about that big. It's just enough to basically, it looks like 2 little ovals at the very, very bottom of my windscreen or windshield, whatever you want to call it. I'm so fucking overwhelmed. Oh wow, that does seem to be working at least a little bit. As long as I don't drive too fast. trying to sort of push up through. But also I have to make sure that I only drive in private property, because it's legal to drive on private property in your vehicle. Just not legal to drive on roads or roadways. Which is one of the important things I've been trying to explain to y'all, is that the longer I have to spend running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to find a safe place to fucking stay, while you guys want me to jump through hoops that take for fucking ever. Jesus Christ, man. Everybody avoids the actual issue. An at-risk adult is being abused over and over again. Alright, looks like pretty much everything on my vehicle checks out. My blinkers work, both left and right. Brake lights absolutely work. And of course, we are reparked back where we were earlier. Nothing blew up, nothing exploded. See how many dots of power I got on my other external battery here. A whole 1.5 dots of power. Alright, that's about a 25% charge, I suppose, for the phone here. So, it's at 44% now. Chimes nomadic type, keep your chin up, take care. I'm doing the best I can. What the fuck is going on with this goddamn thing? Oh yeah, it's fucking broken, duh.